Greetings, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here. And I'm making this video because nobody else is talking about this. And I'm hoping it will get at least a little bit more attention if I actually make a video. A lot of people are talking about Borderlands 4, and I'm going to try and put some clickbaity title to get attention on this. A lot of people are talking about Borderlands 4. However, they're talking about the price. They're talking about the end-user agreement that's been updated. And while they're valid criticisms, I have one that, to me, feels just as important. Now, the $80 thing, I totally agree. I do not want to see $80 normalized for a video game. It's way too much, especially given the garbage slop that we're getting out of AAA companies. Why the hell do you want me to pay $80 for something that is just pure garbage at this point? You know, I'd rather wait for a sale than buy a game at $80, okay? So I get the concern about the $80 and the arrogance of Randy Pitchford in the way he put it, where it's like, if you're a true fan of Borderlands, you'll find a way. Really, bro? Really? I mean, the arrogance of him. There were so many better ways he could have worded it that were polite, that were like consumer friendly. Because, dude, you're a CEO of a company. How do you not know that that is not the way to word it on X? Even I have more common sense than that. And I'm probably all the way on the opposite end of the spectrum, working in a warehouse, okay? I have more common sense. I get why people are angry, but every video I've seen about Borderlands 4 primarily is talking about the price. Okay, the second thing people are talking about is the end user agreement, which is horrific. I totally agree. I cannot believe the amount of access they have to your computer. Really big deal. However, no matter what the price is, no matter what there's one thing that's going to remain consistent and that nobody's talking about, and that is who the hell is writing Borderlands 4? Let me introduce you to Sam Winkler. I've known about this guy for years, and I'll admit I pestered him a little initially on X because the guy's an idiot. I'm sorry, but there's no other way of putting it. That guy should not be allowed to write. He should be banned. I want Trump to put out an executive order. Sam Winkler is to never write again. This is the guy. If you read his bio, first off, I mean, he's got pronouns in his bio. That should say plenty about this guy. I mean, come on. He, him, duh, dude. Duh. It's pretty obvious. Wow. He, him. I never would have guessed. Dude has pronouns in his bio. But put aside the pronouns in his bio, you know what this guy wrote? Borderlands 3. Now, if you've listened to reviews now, first off, I have played Borderlands 3, okay? So before anybody says anything, I have the Platinum Trophy for Borderlands 3 on PS4. And now I uploaded the save. I'm working on getting it on PS5, okay? So I have played Borderlands 3 all the way through, okay? I've watched multiple reviews of Borderlands 3, including Angry Joe's review of it recently, just to remind myself. The gameplay is great. The gunplay is great. The end game is actually very good. I love the mayhem mode. They had holiday events for Borderlands 3. I love the gameplay for Borderlands 3. In fact, of all the Borderlands games, Borderlands 3 has my favorite gameplay. Put aside everything else, I would rather play Borderlands 3. But there's one consistent complaint that everybody had at Borderlands 3. I wonder what it is, Sam? Oh, right, it's the writing. Everybody hated the writing for Borderlands 3. I have yet to see a single review of Borderlands 3 where someone's like, oh my god, I love the Calypso twins. They're the greatest villains ever. No, everybody hated the writing for Borderlands 3. The most common thing is, yeah, you know, you can mute it. The only problem is you can't fast forward through the dialogue. You still have to stand there even if it's been muted. But this is the guy who wrote Borderlands 3. He has probably tarnished the name of Borderlands. At least I hope. But I'm pretty sure most people, I mean, when the primary complaint, the main complaint is the writing sucks. Not the gameplay, not the end game, the writing. Everyone has said that the writing for Borderlands 3 sucks. Now let's say you're Randy Pitchford, all right? And you're reading reviews of Borderlands 3, and every single one of them has that consistent, the writing is garbage. Most people would think, well, maybe you should fire the writer. You know, go up to this boy, Sam here, be like, hey, Sammy, you know what? Maybe you're on a downturn. You know, writer's block is a thing. How about you take a couple years off and, you know, we get someone else for a while. Or maybe we should move you laterally to a different position. Clearly, writing isn't your thing. No. What did Randy Pitchford do? Hey, Sam, how'd you like to write our, sequel, sort of? How would you like to write Tiny Tina's Wonderland? Really? You took the worst person in the entire team of Borderlands 3 and you have him write Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Now, I'm sure you think, well, maybe, that was a downturn for Sammy Boy here. Maybe, he was having a bad couple of years. Maybe he thought he was obsessed with YouTube and thought content creators, let's throw it into a Borderlands game. All right. You know what? No. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which I just finished, the campaign. I don't have the platinum yet. I'm working on it. But if you want, I could show you my trophies. I beat the game. My God. The writing is worse than Borderlands 3. I did not think it was possible for a video game to have worse writing than Borderlands 3. But congratulations, Sam. You did it. You impressed me. You managed to write something far worse. The writing is abysmal. And I like Tiny Tina as a character. I really liked her in Borderlands 2. I even have somewhere, unless Mina dropped it, I have an action figure of Tiny Tina. I really liked Tiny Tina. You destroyed one of my favorite characters in the Borderlands series. Why? I actively thank God that the voice actor for Dr. Zed was not available for Borderlands 3 or Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Because I do not want to imagine what Sam here would have done with Dr. Zed. Because he's a straight white man who had a crush apparently on Tannis. Yeah. When you are actively grateful that one of your favorite characters doesn't make it in a video game because the writing is so horrifically bad, you can't even beat the final boss. You get a whole lecture about how we've been too divided. The best way to describe it is what SkillUp said about Dragon Age the Veilguard. It's like a therapy speak. Non-stop therapy speak. It's horrifically bad. And you can't even, you can mute it. I usually have the subtitles going. You cannot fast forward through it. At the very least, I am begging you for Borderlands 4. Give me the option to fast forward through it. Let me put it another way. I recently just watched the Borderlands movie. Okay? It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's really bad. And the casting is terrible. It looks cool. There's a lot of stuff, I watched it on my phone, so I'm going to watch it again on a bigger screen so I can see better. But what I saw of it looks pretty cool. The vehicles, the creatures, the world itself looks pretty Borderlands, okay? It looks cool. The writing is bad. I would rather watch the Borderlands movie back to back to back to back to back on repeat loop for 24 hours straight than listen to an hour of the dialogue from Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And the thing is, even the gameplay got worse in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Because, okay, fine. You ignore the dialogue. You ignore the story, right? You get through it. Oh, well, at least with Borderlands 3, the gameplay is a lot of fun. It's a fun game. I enjoy playing Borderlands 3. I ignore the story. I ignore the dialogue. The game is fun. And like I said, the end game is great. No. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I played the campaign on intense difficulty. And I'm not a great first-person shooter person. I haven't been playing first-person shooters since I was 3. I can't do a mouse and keyboard if I tried. I'm trying, but I suck. Okay? I'm not the master of first-person shooters. I played the campaign for Tiny Tina's Wonderland on intense difficulty. That is hard. The My Little Pony game is harder than Tiny Tina's Wonderland on intense difficulty. You have to play the entire campaign. There's no option to make it harder. You cannot unlock Chaos Mode until you beat the campaign. So, not only is the story bad, the gameplay is so easy. And there's so much ammo. Like when I'm playing Borderlands 3 on Mayhem, I'm on Mayhem 7 at this point. There are times where I have to go, fast travel to a, vending machine to get ammo because I'm running out of ammo. In the words of Marcus, ammo. Without it, you're just a schmuck with a paperweight. There is so much ammo in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's just literally everywhere. This game is so easy. The first first-person shooter I ever played was Halo. Okay, I had never played a first-person shooter before. This is the one time I played a game on easy. The first time. The second time I didn't play it on easy, absolutely not. But the first time I ever played a first-person shooter, I had no idea what I was doing. Halo on easy is harder than Tiny Tina's Wonderland on intense. Now, once you unlock the chaos mode, definitely gets better. I'm at chaos level 10 right now. But getting better at it. The loot is horrible. You pick up a gun and you use it throughout most of the game because everything else you pick up is garbage in comparison. Like, I've been trying to unlock... Anyway, you can't even rely on good gameplay to get you through the horrific story that is Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And the DLC is just a short story and a boss fight that has different difficulties. So nobody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about the price. Everybody's talking about the end user agreement. No one is talking about my buddy Sam here, who wrote Borderlands 4. Maybe it's the corpus mindset, maybe it's the retail in me, but who in their right mind goes, hey Sam, Borderlands 3's writing sucked. You wrote it. Probably tarnished the name of Borderlands. But hey, buddy, why don't you write Tiny Tina's Wonderland? Because I'm sure you were just having a bad turn. How about you write that? Oh, the writing for Tiny Tina's Wonderland absolutely sucks. Even Angry Joe thinks it's garbage. The only way you can get through Tiny Tina's Wonderland is to mute your writing? Oh, buddy, come on, Sam. How about you write Borderlands 4 for us? Because I'm sure third time's a charm. Mr. Randy Pitchford here is talking about raising the price to $80 because the budget for Borderlands 4 was double the Borderlands 3 budget. And yet you hire this imbecilic moron to write Borderlands 4. Were you drunk, Randy? Seriously, were you drunk when you chose this idiot to write Borderlands 4? Because I'm telling you, my goddamn cat, who doesn't even have opposable thumbs, could probably write better than Sam here. My emails at work are probably more enlightening than the garbage this guy spews out. Seriously. What were you thinking, dude? The price is turning me off, but you know what? I'm not buying a lot of AAA games this year, all right? I'm not buying a lot of video games. So you know what? Sam, Randy, I'm willing to pay the $80. I'm probably one of the few people who's like, I don't like the $80 price tag, but given how much time I put into Borderlands 3, if Borderlands 4 is as good as Borderlands 3, all right, I'll give you the $80. I don't like the end user agreement, but I'm going to be playing it on PS5. All right, buddy. You know what's my biggest turnoff? It's not the price. It's not the end user agreement. It's Sam here. Sam Winkler, the writer. Because I do not want to go through how many hours Borderlands 4 is going to be listening to this guy's garbage writing. And nobody's talking about this. So for the love of God, people, please, at most, maybe 1,000 people will see this video, okay? More people need to talk about this because I think because regardless of the price, even if this game were to go on sale, if Borderlands 4 were to go on sale for $10, you still have to deal with Sam Winkler. So please tell people who's writing Borderlands 4 because you're going to probably turn off a lot more people. My God, I don't think enough people played Tiny Tina's Wonderland to realize just how horrifically bad the writing is. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the whole thing. I am really pissed off at this point. And as I said, it is so frustrating to not see anybody else talking about this. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this with people so more people are aware about who the hell is writing this slop. And Sam Winkler, I swear, dude, you should never write another video game again. I know, do not, like, send bad things at this guy. But you know what? I'm not one of those smarter, more mature YouTubers. If you want to go to Sam here and tell him his writing sucks, go right ahead. Because not enough people are clearly telling this guy you should never, ever, you should not write emails, bro. Let alone tweets. And get the pronouns out of your bio. Come on, man. It's pretty obvious you're a he, him. You'd have to be blind to not see that. All right. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Check out my Destiny stuff. I'll probably be live streaming. And I hope to see you in the tower or Pandora or whatever else. All right.